A few days passed. I went out to investigate that day. I dropped by the tavern since it was so familiar to me. Oh, she's dressed up. I wonder if Ash is here today. The thought crossed my mind briefly. Girl's obsessed with him. There were so few customers when I entered the tavern that I saw Ash immediately. He was there again, in his usual seat, writing something in his notebook. It didn't seem like he noticed me coming in. He's as mysterious as usual. Though there weren't that many customers, the loud voices of the others filled the air. I got the impression that time progressed much more slowly around Ash. I wonder if he'll be surprised if I talk to him all of a sudden. What sort of face would he make when he was surprised? I started to feel a childish urge to play a prank. Girl. I snuck up behind Ash without making a sound, and... What are you doing?
Writing a story.
A natural response came from him without turning around. That was disappointing. But more than that, I wondered about Ash's words. A story?
Yes. I'm writing a story of an ordinary girl. She meets a man, and they gradually grow closer, soon falling in love. A simple and ordinary story, to be sure.
That was simple, but it was a happy story. The story of an ordinary girl falling in love. I was surprised to learn that he would write something like this. He said that he wrote stories of people he met on his journeys. I wondered if Ash met a girl like that before.
Was that uninteresting?
He seemed to have taken my silence as boredom, so I hurried to reassure him. No, of course not. I think it's nice.
Really?
Yes. I don't know how to put it, but I like those kinds of stories with ordinary girls. I blurted out what I thought without any filter.
But you're an ordinary girl too.
Yes, I guess. Those words stung my heart. Could it be from the guilt of hiding my identity, or from how I couldn't reveal it? The positive feelings I had earlier suddenly deflated. In its place, a dark and heavy emotion came through. I looked down to see the hair from my wig drooping on my shoulders. It made me realize that I was no ordinary girl. This is not the real me, but It was weird. In the beginning, I really resisted wearing this outfit.
Did I say something to offend you? If so, I apologize.
It's not that. I realized I was acting strangely today. It was as if I was unable to properly control my emotions. Maybe I should leave for now, but... Is it alright if I come again? I didn't want things to turn awkward, so I suggested that we meet again.
Of course. Anytime. But there is one request I have.
What's that?
Would you please speak more casually to me? It doesn't quite match you, being so proper.
Doesn't match me? Well, of course. I wasn't used to talking this way either.
Please.
He pleaded to me while turning his head to the side. That gesture made him look cute. It was so unfitting of the man in front of me that it made me snicker. How rude.
Huh?
Since Ash was saying that, I should just oblige. Got it. Anyway, I'll be back again.
Yes. I'll always be right here, waiting for you.
A gentle gaze turned toward me. It was the best smile Ash had given me since we met. Wow. That led me to drop by the tavern more often than before. To investigate, of course. But I always found myself at the tavern even when I had no particular business there. Somehow, talking to Ash soothed my soul. He called me an ordinary girl. Even with the legends of the witch, he has a different perspective on it from the townspeople. Since he was from outside town, he didn't know who Jed was. That was why I didn't need to be too careful around him. I didn't have to be afraid of him finding out my true identity as I talked to him. What I had to do for everyone else, I didn't for him. That felt refreshing. When I came to the tavern as I usually did, Ash was always there, as promised. He talked to me about many things. Oh, well, look at these two cuties. Flirting and things.
About how there are desert wastelands somewhere in this world. That there are mountains of sand as far as the eye can see.
Does it mean it's really hot there?
Of course. During the day, the sun shines down with a burning heat. At night, it flips and becomes freezing cold.
It's not a very comfortable place to live.
But being vast and quiet, it was a very nice place to be. I climbed up the dunes and listened to the whistles of the winds. Then I'd sleep on the sand and look out to see a sky full of stars.
A sky full of stars.
Oh, but watch out for the desert bandits. I've come across danger many times.
Huh?
Before I realized it, I was a member of the bandits myself. I was careless.
You carelessly became a bandit?
Yep.
Really?
That was pretty bad.
And then they turn the page. And one time...
There are many people around the world who've never seen snow. I think they would be envious of this town.
No way. The snow is nothing but a nuisance. It's cold, wet, and slippery.
You might think that because you're surrounded by snow every day.
What do you think of it, Ash?
When I first came to this town, I thought the scenery to be beautiful. But
what?
But I really don't like it when it's every day.
You're right about that. But there is one thing about snowstorms.
What's that?
Warm stews taste even better than usual.
I see. That's a good thing to hear. I'll give it a try someday.
Yep.
I'd like for us to share it then. I get the feeling that eating it with someone would also make it taste better.
It's a date. And during another time... Ash, have you ever seen the ocean?
Why, of course. I see. You wouldn't know what the ocean was like because you've never left this town before, right?
I know what it is. It's just that I've never seen it before.
It's difficult to express in words. The vastness of the ocean is something you must see for yourself to feel its true grandness.
I see. But I don't think I ever will.
That's not true. I'm sure there will come a time when you can leave this town. I will volunteer to be your guide then. I'll take you to a hill so that you can take a nice view of the ocean.
Guess it's another date. I heard many stories of the sort, always of the world outside of town. Talking with Ash was fun, but it made me slightly envious of him. The more I heard his stories, the more I wanted to know. I wanted to learn of the outside world and also about Ash. We were growing closer and closer. After a while, Ash began to share what was written inside one of his notebooks. They were notes on what he saw and heard in the many places he had been, written like they were stories. Sometimes he would stop talking and show me his handbook. There were sad stories, funny stories, suspenseful stories, exciting stories. All of them were worlds I had never seen before. The time I spent with Ash became something I looked forward to every day. And we never found the Kaleidovia. We just started dating this boy instead. I like this protagonist, I stated my opinion after finishing reading a part of his handbook. On this day, Ash let me read a story he wrote, as he always did. It was the story of the ordinary girl that he briefly mentioned the other time.
I'm glad you like it. It's only half written, so I'd think it's difficult to evaluate.
No, it's fine. I want to read more of it. Aw, this is a new face. Hello, Hugh.
Thank you.
Ash smiled happily at me. I couldn't say anything considerate, but when he smiled that way, I felt a little flustered. There was one thing that I was wondering about. Ash's stories were about the people he met on his journeys, which meant he had met that girl as well. Maybe I should ask him. I was always asking him questions, but for some reason I was strangely reluctant today. This girl seems cute and nice. Maybe, did you and she... I wondered why I couldn't continue.
What's the matter?
No, it's nothing. I shouldn't. Nothing would come of asking him anyway. I didn't want to make this awkward. Were you in a relationship with her? Why would I be jealous of this? I don't know. Blech. At least that was what I thought.
You're also a cute and nice girl.
Huh? That was so sudden. I wonder if it was one of his usual jokes. Ash sometimes did things like that. Oh, he's getting closer. I looked towards him to see him staring at me with his usual look on his face. His eyes were fixed onto me, unmoving.
Well, what?
Those serious eyes caused me to be overcome with embarrassment. I was blushing red. Ash was usually like this, but why was I so agitated today? You're joking again.
To me, you're a wonderful girl. What's the matter?
Hi. Look at her. She's red all the way up to her ears. Why was he doing this all of a sudden? There was no way I could calm myself down. His compliment made me blush like never before. This isn't fair. My heart raced even faster. I'd never felt this way before. It's different from when I run all out. It was hotter, raising the temperature of my whole body. Ash's hand reached for my cheek. My shoulders twitched, and I felt the heat within my body converge into my right eye. Ah! I covered my right eye instinctively. Uh-oh. Wow, I think he's the only guy that has happened with. Like, she's gotten flustered with the other guys. I'm trying to remember. He might be the only one that it's actually managed to turn red all the way. Woo boy. My eye turned red. Did he see it? Right when I knew that I messed up, it was already too late. Ash was staring at my face. While I could feel myself turning pale, the heat in my eyes still burned. Please stop! Hurry! Hurry! I was helpless to it, so I closed my eyes. I hid my face with my shaking hands.
What's the matter?
Huh? He asked me as if nothing happened. Did you see my eye?
What about your eye?
Oh, was it strange? I was stuttering. Did he see it? If he did, then... I couldn't ask him. I was too afraid.
Let's see.
Ash gently held the hand that covered my eye. I felt weak. I couldn't resist him as he pulled my hand away. My right eye still felt hot. Please don't look. If he saw this,
There's nothing strange about it.
Huh? That was impossible. It was the witch's eye. There was no way it wasn't strange.
It's a beautiful color. There's nothing strange about it.
He repeats it to reassure me. Yet my heart was still racing. But... Hi, tavern worker. Are you, extending your illusion to her so that nobody else can see her eye? Because that would be great.
Jeez, get a room.
Whoa!
I brought you seconds.
The tavern employee slammed the mugs onto the table.
Why, thank you.
Yeah. Man, I'm so busy.
Was that a tavern employee? I'm sure she also saw my face. And yet she walked away as if nothing happened. My eyes still felt hot. Sir, what have you done to me? I cautiously looked around. It was far from being packed, but there were still customers here and there. but no one seemed to care about me. Why? Ash didn't say anything more. He looked at me anxiously. This was strange. It was like I was the only one feeling weird. It's like no one is saying anything even after seeing my witch's eye. My mind reached its limit in confusion and I ran outside. I ran far away without saying goodbye to Ash. What did it mean? I tried to remember what happened today. After running at full speed, I had returned to the tower before I knew it. I threw myself into a chair and couldn't move for a while. I continued to breathe heavily, and slowly the confusion in my mind finally seemed to subside. Well, at least your eye's back to normal. I thought there would be a commotion, that I wouldn't be able to stay here anymore. When my emotions were heightened, my right eye turned red. The red eye was proof of the witch in this town. That was what I thought. Ash and the people at the tavern didn't react to it at all. I knew for sure my eye had turned red. Was it really red? There was no way to find out. It was then a spark of doubt crossed my mind. Something that I've never thought of after I learned about my eye. I'd never seen my eye turn red myself. I had that feeling when my eye felt hotter. There was no way to see it. Unless people around me told me my eye was red, I would never know. I thought my eye turned red today, but no one said anything. Maybe it didn't? I don't know. I can't know. Someone would have to tell me. I didn't realize that until today. Why couldn't I recognize something like that all this time? It was something that only mattered if others noticed it. This is messing me up, girl. This is like some cognition nonsense, like, I assume my eye is red, and therefore it manifests as red. But I've never actually had anybody tell me my eye turns red. I mean, we've done the main story, so we know her eyes turned red, but is that because she's like, I know my eye turns red, therefore it turns red? This is messing me up. Okay, continue. There was no joy or surprise. A slight chill seemed to go up my spine. It was Francisca who told me my eye turned red. Interesting. And the only ones who knew it, who know it, were Francisca and Ashen Hawk. What if they were both lying? Even if it wasn't a lie, what if they were mistaken? I couldn't outright deny that possibility. I didn't want to. Maybe my eye doesn't turn red. If there was even a slight chance. I wanted to check once more. What's the plan, girl? I called to Ashen Hawk, but as expected, he was nowhere to be found. I knew that he was never fit to confirm these things. I decided to wait until the next morning to seek the advice of someone I trusted. Who would that be? If you're going to Francisca, the person who told you it was red, why would you... Girl, I don't understand you. I know she's your mom, basically, but like, if she's like the first person who told you that, why would you go to her for confirmation about this? Okay, fine, we'll do it, I guess. I wonder if Francisca is here. I walked slightly slower than usual on these familiar stairs. Sure. I haven't seen Mom in ages. Because I came without warning, I had thought she might be out, but luckily Francisca was home.
Oh, Jed, you're here. I mean, welcome home.
I'm sorry for coming here so suddenly, Francisca. Oh. I tried to exchange the usual salutations, but saw an unexpected face. What are you doing here, Mr. Midriff?
Oh?
It was Ash. What was he doing here? I remembered what happened yesterday and my heart jumped.
Pleased to meet you.
Ash spoke in an inquisitive tone while I fought back the anxiety rising within me. He said, pleased to meet me? Oh, that's right. It's the first time I've met him in men's clothing.
Who is this young man?
His name is Jed. My other son.
Nice to meet you.
I see. My name is Ash. I apologize for the sudden visit.
A curt exchange of greetings. Then again, that was to be expected because we hadn't met before.
I'll be going now.
Yes. Please enjoy your stay in this town.
Ah. Without turning around, Ash left the room. That's it? Of course. To Ash, I wasn't the girl at the tavern. It would be more odd to act so friendly towards someone you just met. But still, it made me feel strangely lonesome. It made me feel like the distance between us had grown wider. Francisca, who was that?
He's a traveler who'll be staying in town for a while, so he was here to pay his respects. That was rather conscientious of him.
Oh, really?
So what brings you back? Did you come to see me?
That's right. I needed to ask about my red eye. I shook my head once in an effort to clear the fuzziness from my mind. Francisca. It might be quicker to show her than to explain it. Until now, I'd never tried to do this intentionally. I focused on my right eye. I remembered the feeling I had when it happened, and it gradually grew hotter. Yes, this was the feeling. My eye should be red right now. No reaction. Interesting.
Why are you making such an angry face?
Huh?
I'm sorry. Did I do something to make you mad? There are so many things I could have done, I don't know which it could be.
No, that's not what I'm... Wait, is that all you have to say?
What do you mean?
Francisca looked troubled by my actions. There had never been a time where she wouldn't comment on my eye turning red. I needed to ask her one other thing. My right eye is the witch's eye, right?
Jed, don't say that so loudly!
It's usually a normal color, but it turns red when my emotions are heightened.
Stop it! Your eye is, well, unique, but you are not a witch.
She was scolding me seriously. It wasn't a lie that my eye did turn red before. Then right now...
Jed?
I'm sorry for saying something strange.
Yes, you were. What happened? If there's anything I can do for you, don't hesitate to ask.
It's nothing, really. I'll go back for today.
Ah, Jed!
I tried to get away from the manor as quickly as I could. Weird. Did Hugh change the story? It was then a thought crossed my mind. The way Francisca reacted, could it be? That my red eye has been fixed? My witch's eye is gone? That hope sprung up in my heart. Maybe my eye no longer turned red. If that was the case, there was no more need to fake my gender. No one would ever call me a witch again. I didn't have a red eye. I could return to being a normal girl. I couldn't believe something like this could happen. I could even wear clothes like Francisca does. I could pick and choose accessories, grow out my hair, and even wear makeup. Girl's got plans. They were things that I had thought I would never have, and they suddenly fell into my lap. I can return back to being a normal girl. Right when I thought that, suddenly Ash's face came to mind. He had a rather distant demeanor because I was a man. But if I was a woman... If I could always be a woman. Impatiently, I hurried back to the tower so that I could change into women's clothes. What is she planning? I'm so anxious now. I wanted to change into different clothes and return to town. I had run a long distance, so I was short of breath. I couldn't meet him like this. I tried to calm my breathing before heading to the tavern. Oh no, what's gonna happen? Whoa, hello. Ash was sitting in his usual seat, but he seemed a bit restless. When our eyes met, he smiled brightly. I was sure that I was making the same kind of smile.
I'm so glad. I thought we wouldn't be able to see each other today.
Why do you say that?
Because of how we parted yesterday. I thought I had angered you.
Oh, it's not that. I'm sorry I had to leave because of my own circumstances.
It's all right. You came today. That's all that matters.
I finally remembered my attitude yesterday. I was actually glad Ash wasn't mad at me instead. I sat down across from Ash and wondered what to talk about today. What kind of story would he tell me? Right when I thought that... Hello?
I can't take this anymore!
A loud yell echoed throughout the tavern. Oh, okay, well, she snapped.
I'm being used and abused for little such pay every day! I'm sick of it all! I barely get to see him anymore! If we break up, it's all your fault!
Hey, calm down. The customers are watching.
I don't care! I'm quitting!
Damn. She's gotta get back to her vigilante boy, I guess. Not vigilante. Oh gosh. Vagrant? No. I thought it started with a V. The guy who was like threatening Elric. I can't remember his name. That guy, the blonde guy. The waitress tore off her apron and slammed it onto the floor before she left. I wasn't sure exactly what happened, but I suppose she couldn't take being so busy anymore. When I entered the tavern, I only had eyes for Ash, but now that I looked around, all the seats were filled. And most of them were relatively big men that would eat and drink plenty. Was she and the owner the only ones dealing with all these customers? And as for those customers, only a handful looked uneasy over the exchange, while the remainder watched the tirade with amusement. Some of them were also drunk, and soon they began to yell at the owner. Hey, sorry you got dumped, but I need you to come and get my order.
Hey, owner! Over here too! 2 more plates, please! Where the hell are my drinks? How long are you keeping me waiting? Wait! I can't deal with all of that at once.
If it was a prank, they were taking it too far. The owner seemed to be confused at what to do. I'd like to help, but...
Don't mind me. Go on ahead.
Okay! Girl becomes the best tavern worker ever. Those words encouraged me. I stood up from my seat and headed to the confused owner. If you'd like, I can help.
Really? That'll be great.
I was instantly hired. The owner's face was half crying, half smiling. It seemed he really was in trouble. But I'm not too confident in cooking things at a restaurant quality.
I'll do that part. You deal with the customers.
After saying that, the owner ran into the kitchen. What's going on? You found a replacement already?
Hey, 2 plates over here, you hear me? I don't care who's working, just hurry it up!
All right. I picked up the apron the girl threw down and wrapped it around my waist. Sure, be right there. I hope she's able to serve alcohol and not smell it and pass out. It was so busy, my head was spinning. Orders came in one after another. Right when I thought a table finished, new customers replaced them. There was no time to take even a small break. At first I thought the girl was selfish, but now I knew exactly how she felt. But that didn't make it right for her to abandon her job. Alright. Alrighty.
Thank you.
Good job, girl. I sent off another group of customers with a raspy voice. The number in the tavern had finally lessened a bit. The feelings of relief made me feel weak. My arms and legs were also sore.
I'll be fine, so go and take a break.
Sure. I should do as he says for now. I sat down on a nearby seat and threw myself down on the table. I didn't think I could move another step.
Good work. That looked hard.
Although I couldn't move another step, I could turn my neck. I looked up to see who was talking to me. Was he waiting for me the entire time? Oh, sorry, Ash.
No need to apologize.
But
I was watching you the whole time you were working. It was quite enjoyable.
what did he mean by that? Was he complimenting me or teasing me? I felt embarrassed and looked down again.
Thank you so much. Here, this is my treat.
This time I heard the owner. He dropped down a glass onto the table. Now that I thought about it, I hadn't eaten anything. I took it with gratitude.
But you did really well. Do you have experience doing this type of work?
Yes, just a little though. When I worked as a handyman, I sometimes did service jobs like this.
Really? That's even more amazing. Hey, so here's the thing. Can you work for me?
Excuse me?
As you can see, my employee ran out on me. I need people here or I can't keep the business open.
Huh. But I don't think I can do it alone. I managed to get through it today, but I wasn't confident I could do it again.
Yes, I'll definitely hire more. And it's really rare for it to get this busy. It's usually a lot easier.
Still, I had my job as the handyman, so I couldn't easily agree to it.
Please, I'll pay you well. Girls that work like you are really rare. Please.
Girl. That's right. I'll be working as a girl here. If I worked as a handyman, I'd need to dress like a man, but I didn't really want to do that. I glanced to my side to look. I wondered what he thought about it.
If you work here, I'll be able to see you every day.
He said those words of encouragement again. If it's only during the day.
Yes, that's great. Then it's set.
Seemed like it was. This might be a good opportunity. I could gradually reduce my handyman work and eventually... If I can be that way in the future, I want it to happen soon. I felt like a whole new world opened up to me. Thanks to that, all my fatigue seemed to melt away. I'll come again tomorrow. I need to go home soon.
Are you sure you can go home by yourself?
Huh? I looked outside and it was already dark. Had I been working this long? Well, I'm used to walking at night. It's okay. This should be fine.
It's not fine. I can't let a girl go home alone at this hour.
Ugh. Maybe because I wasn't used to being treated like a girl, I didn't know how to respond.
I have a few open rooms, so stay the night.
But...
You should do that. I'm renting a room right now, and the bed is comfortable.
Ash was staying here too? No wonder he was at the tavern every day. Then I guess I don't have to worry too much. Oh, but doesn't this tavern... I thought they did nighttime work too. You know, the type that couldn't be publicly announced. Well? Girl's jealous side is coming out again. Huh? Then if Ash is staying here, is he... My head spun and I could tell my face was blushing red.
Don't worry about that. That line of work is somewhere else. We're an upstanding tavern here, at least.
What are you talking about?
It's nothing! I was so close to blurting out my thoughts again. Oh, yeah. Ash didn't know. That's a relief. Afterwards, the owner took me to my room where I would stay for the night. It was clean and did look comfortable. At the very least, more so than the tower where I lived.
I don't mind if you live and work out of here.
I'll think about it. It wasn't something I could decide on immediately, so I just said that for now. After the owner exited, I was left alone in the room. Suddenly, as if my body just remembered, I collapsed in fatigue. I didn't try to resist it and just fell onto the bed. Phew. What was this? I was tired, but it was a good kind of tiredness. I felt fulfilled and open. It was probably because the fog in my heart was slightly lifted. The fog that had hidden my true feelings since childhood. It might take a little longer until it was completely lifted. At this rate, I could finally... When would I be freed from the witch's eye? When could I return to being a normal girl? I just want to live a normal life like any other girl, not the life of a witch. With that hope in my heart, I fell asleep.